is the VIP Late Lunch with Lee Sterry on the Voice of Niagara, News Talk 610 CKTB.
Hey, welcome in once again to the Skrtich Living Hour. Every couple of Wednesdays, we bring Michael Skrtich in and a special guest from Downtown Thorold. The idea here, as conceived by Mr. Skrtich, was to continue to stress what a great destination Downtown Thorold is for a lot of different reasons. And we try to do this every couple of weeks to try to press home the point. And we have a special guest with us, lovely young lady, an entrepreneur and business person in Downtown Thorold. Jillian Falconer is with us of Glow Hair. Hey, Jillian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I know you're nervous, but don't be. We won't bite, and it's a pretty easy process. Glow Hair.
That's right.
Let's just start talking about you, and then we'll talk about Glow Hair. We'll talk about the future, and then we'll let Michael chime in every now and then. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, good. So let's talk about you first of all.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. So that's a topic you probably know more about than the rest of us.
That's right.
So lean in and tell us a little bit about Jillian Falconer. What makes you tick? How'd you get to where you are?
Well, I guess I've just always had a passion for hair, and I started when I was young. I always remember my mom would put me in a bedroom with little head dolls, and I would spend hours braiding them. And then she encouraged me to go to hair school, and I said to her, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to own my own business one day.
How old were you when you said that?
I must have been about 16, 17 years old.
Okay, so you had a vision even then.
That's right.
All right, cool.
That's right.
Go ahead.
So I just went through hair school. I went to Kappa in St. Catharines here, and then I actually was not a fan of hair school. So I did some more schooling after that in another field, and then I just kept coming back to it. I tried doing it out of my house. I tried working for people, and then eventually I just said it was enough, and I am a current resident in Thorold, so I found my hair salon on Albert Street. And
okay, this I find interesting. You said you didn't really like hair school or whatever. So just the environment or whatever. Not that particular school necessarily, just the environment. But did you come out? Obviously, you came out of it with some knowledge.
I did, yes, and I kept practicing it because I had to do my apprenticeship, which at the time was about 1,500 hours in a hair salon.
Okay.
So I knew I wasn't going to just stop doing it, even though I didn't like hair. I thought at least I was going to follow the steps after to get my license, so then I could fall back on it if I needed to. So then, I just kept kind of plugging away at it, and I just kind of kept coming back to it because I'm so passionate about it. So
did you work for other people?
I did. I worked at other hair salons,
For how many years?
About 7.
1,500 hours. About 1,500 hours.
So that was your entire apprenticeship?
That was my apprenticeship.
Oh, okay.
And then I got hired on at other salons afterwards.
Okay.
I did move away for a little bit, and then I made my way back. It was kind of a hot mess, to be honest, for the first little bit of my career.
I get you. So you're now that brings you up to 23, 24, something.
I was 23, when I found my location on Albert.
And you opened your own shop.
That's right.
At 23 years old.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It helps when you have a great landlord.
We'll get to you.
Yes,
we'll
yes.
get to you later. Okay.
It's not all about you, Michael.
Well, it is. But,
I know.
Okay. So, Albert Street.
Yes.
In Thorold. How did you come to pick Thorold? You grew up in Niagara-on-the-Lake, right? Niagara-on-the-Lake, St. David's, Virgil area.
Yes.
All right.
Actually, my best friend rented one of his rentals. She moved in there, and she...
See, it comes around to you eventually.
Yeah. She let me know. She knew I was looking and that I was unhappy where I was at, and she let me know about it, and then I called him pretty much right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then... How does that process work, Michael? You've got a young entrepreneur wants to start a business. Somebody puts them in contact with you and said, okay, now what do we do?
In the beginning, you always have to help, because when Jillian came, look, she told you her age. She was young, but still head on her shoulders, and she's like, okay, I want a salon. I need this, and this. So she makes a list of all the things that she needs. She budgets all of that, and then I have to figure out, okay, we can move some walls here. We need to add water, electrical, whatever. So the landlord, oftentimes, if you want that tenant, you got to help them build their business. Mm-hmm. So she already had a clientele, small one, and she was going to grow her business. I mean, she'll tell you how she grew her business, and then starting to expand. So that the beginning part is finding the right location. It was on Albert Street East. It was one of the first buildings that I did. We put 5 student rooms on top, and then the 3 commercial ones, we just renovated them completely. Find the right tenant.
This is ground floor.
Ground floor, absolutely. And then you're on the street front there.
Right.
And then the person just has to come in and work and do their business. So she started that, came to me, and we worked out, what the rent was at the time, and you have to spend a little bit of money to make it perfect for her, and then she did the rest.
Now, in chatting, Jillian, before we came on the air, you mentioned the fact that there are some staples of the hair industry, the style industry, that you had a vision of doing something different.
That's right.
How different? How is your vision different from what people might be familiar with?
Well, right now, I feel like the industry, or what I felt like when I was working in it, and from what I hear, is that it's very like factory style, people coming in and out.
Assembly line stuff.
Assembly line, yeah. And I'm just trying to create more of like a overall guest experience. I'm trying to pay attention to my guests when they're in, and service them from beginning to finish, and making sure that they are 100% happy with what I'm doing. I'm trying to create a vibe that doesn't have gossip or negativity, which I know will be probably tricky, but
gossip is a tough one in a hair salon.
I know, because we're basically their therapists.
No gossip in downtown Thorold. No, okay.
Historic downtown Thorold. Right?
What is it that made you think that way? What did you experience that made you have that vision yourself from inside the industry?
Well, I was realizing that's what I wasn't liking about being in a salon throughout the start of my career. And I actually had some inspirations on my social media from the United States that I follow anyways, and they kind of are trying to change the way that this particular person is running. So I just was kind of grabbing inspiration from that to know it's possible, and I just have to keep powering through because I really believe in changing it.
Our guest on the program today is a fabulous young entrepreneur here in Niagara that's been growing her business over the last 3 to 4 years. Jillian Falconer is her name. Her business is Glow Hair, currently located on Albert Street in downtown Thorold. I want to get to your location in a bit, Jillian, because I know you have some pretty cool plans going forward. First, talk to us about, we were talking about before the break, a little bit of a different sort of vision when it comes to your typical kind of hair salon. What's your core business right now? And you don't have employees right now. You're looking at getting some. I know we'll talk about that as well. But right now, you're it, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. So right now, when you're here spending time with us, you're probably losing money because you're closed.
Well, I did have to move some appointments around. I actually told no to Michael right away, and then I had to move people around.
But the good news is you're saying you're booked up through March.
That's right, yes.
That's pretty cool.
I actually had to close my booking list for the time being, just because with all the new,
Okay, why are you in so much demand? What's your specialty? What makes you different? What makes you unique? Why do people want to come to Glow that's got you booked so far in advance? Why?
I mean, I'm really good at coloring hair. I think people come to me because I'm really good at doing like blonde colors. I'm trying to bring the new balayage trend to this area.
What's that?
It's a freehand way of painting on color on the hair, and it's a tricky technique, and I find it for myself tricky to master, so I've just been trying to practice that on people, and through my Instagram, I'm very good on social media. I'm sure my boyfriend doesn't appreciate my time that I spend on it every night, but so I think that, and I hope they come to me because they like being around me and my salon experience.
Now, when I did some research on your company, I noticed that one of your specialties centers around weddings.
That's right. Yep.
So how many weddings would you do? And we're talking obviously bride and bridesmaids' hair, not the guys. You can get rid of them. But and from some of the stuff I saw, it's pretty nice. So
thank you. Yeah.
So how many of those would it take? And you're on your own. Like you got a wedding coming up. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So I actually for that I did start small and I did start on my own. Roughly each wedding, like each person was roughly about 5 to 6 people, so that was doable on my own. But then I started bringing in makeup, and then wedding parties started getting bigger. So I actually do freelance art. I bring in freelance artists to do my weddings, so they help me with that. And I typically take on about like 55 a year.
Okay, 55 weddings?
That's right.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of weddings, yes.
Yeah. Are you ever closed other than when you're here?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I am by appointment only. So if I'm not in my studio, like say if I'm out doing a wedding or if I'm here, my salon is closed.
All right. So, Michael, this is where we'll bring you back in a second. One of the cool things about your business is, first of all, you found Michael here in downtown Thorold by referral. It's been good for you. It's been successful. You're happy.
Yes.
But you're also growing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I kind of started in January, February, and I was looking to not essentially leave, but I was looking for a bigger space. So I was looking around Meriton, St. Catharines, and I'm like, what am I doing? I want to be on Front Street. So I called Michael finally. I don't know why I just didn't do that in the first place. And yeah, we found a spot like right away, and he set me up, and it's just basically making my whole dreams come true.
Okay, so now let's walk through the logistics of that. How many square feet has she got now, Michael? In her current location?
I'm going to say between 500 and 600.
500 and 600, and you got how many chairs in there?
3.
3 chairs, sinks?
2 sinks.
2 sinks, 3 chairs. Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty tight.
Yeah. All right. So you want to grow. So you go to a whole new location.
That's right.
Still in downtown Thorold. And this is what I find interesting when we're talking about promoting the downtown area. Here's somebody that was there, has the experience, and they want to stay there.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they want to grow there, which
Yep.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, the city's growing, as you know. We talk about this every 2 weeks.
Okay, so then what do you do? How does this symbiotic relationship kind of work?
Again, from the beginning, like the landlord has to get it, right? So we had this.
That would be you?
Yeah, that's me. Hi. So, we had this building where it was a company that he used it as a secondary office for years. Like when we purchased the building, he was the tenant and he had been there for a long time.
Okay.
And then finally, they no longer want that office. And it's older office, and where when I was showing it, you knew that some renovations had to happen. So some renovations have to happen if you want to rent it. Look, downtown Thorold now, you go to all the new stores, everything's renovated nicely, and they've got great tiles, beautiful colors, and it looks very clean and nice. So this is an older one. So when Jillian says, yes, I need a space, so I said, well, let me show you this one here. And then she's like, what can I do? I says, I'm going to do whatever you want. So it's about removing all the floors, removing all the walls, putting in some new walls for her, and then all, the electrical, the plumbing, and making, a kitchen area. So she goes from about 500 or 600 square feet to, 800 or 900 square feet. And now she can have 5 chairs there, have, two color washing stations or color stations. And it's more practical and better for her business because she can function better, and then she can expand her business. And then, like you said, she wants to stay there because that's where her clients already know, because they know where to find parking. They know how to walk to her place. And then also, because it's downtown Thorold, people are going to go walk to Shannon Passero's. They'll go to Will's, Carmen Chameleon for lunch, and then they'll go to the cafe, and they're going to go to Antoinette's store, Fig Street. So it's more of an experience too when you're coming to downtown Thorold. You're not just going to get your hair done. It's, hey, I need to spend a couple hours here because there's a couple favorite stores that I like to go to. So that's what's helping making Thorold a destination, and salons are great for that because the traffic is high. Lots of people come. They're all familiar with it. They love driving around and looking at the new buildings and what's next. Oh, look at this. And, Jillian is on the same street as the Albert Apartments.
Which we will talk about.
Yes, we'll get there.
I know. You keep raising the flag. Speaking of raising the flag, something that we want to mention is we've done this last couple of times you were on. The Prince of Wales Historical Destination Award was given to Downtown Thorold.
To all of Thorold, not just downtown, but all of Thorold.
All of Thorold,
Yep.
okay. All of Thorold.
But I mean, the downtown is a big
me.
part of that.
Okay. Have you stolen the flag
No, I didn't
from
steal the flag.
from City Hall yet?
I'm going to get Santino.
Because you said you were going to steal the flag.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
So we're going to make copies of that flag. Santino will probably do it for us, and then we'll place them in the downtown
All
areas.
right.
Because you know what? It's a great achievement award.
It's great honor.
Yeah, and the buildings look great, and it has to do with the town and the way. A lot of development didn't happen in Thorold over the years.
No. Well, I mean, Jillian was talking earlier about growing up in the Niagara-on-the-Lake, St. David's, Virgil area, Niagara-on-the-Lake in particular being a destination spot, visit for people, has a lot of heritage kind of feel and history behind it. And but this is a real feather in the cap for Thorold to pick up
Absolutely.
that designation. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a few minutes left here. Talk to us about what you do with the old location now. You've got an offer on the table. I take it for your current location.
Yeah, so Michael actually brought this idea to me because he asked me what I was doing with all my old furniture, and I said, honestly, I'm wanting a fresh start. Like, I'm totally rebranding. So he said, well, let's sell it then. Let's try and bring someone in who was you 3 years ago and see if they can, if we can help them build a business of their own.
So you're looking for somebody to buy not buy the building,
Not
obviously.
buy the building, but my space as is.
And
Yeah.
equipment.
And
So the
all my
chairs
equipment.
because all the work's already been done. We've
Yeah.
already done that homework 3.5
So
years ago.
this I find kind of neat as well, because a lot of people think about competition as being not a good thing. So you obviously are looking forward to the fact that, well, you don't mind if somebody else comes in that was you 4 years ago,
Yeah.
to be around the corner and be in competition with, which I find refreshing, because a lot of people don't want competitors. They'd rather see nobody around.
Right, and I did have to wrap my head around. I'm not going to lie, and still, I'm human. But I thought after,
You're human?
what?
Wow, look at you.
I thought, why not encourage someone else? Because if I didn't have those people when I needed that encouragement, then I wouldn't probably have my business. So I would rather lift people up than bring them down or compete with them.
And it's almost a turnkey operation. I mean, all the stuff is there already.
That's right.
And,
yeah, and I'm open if they have any questions on how to run it or do anything. Like I said,
Just pay the rent. That's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. You gotta
Meet
do.
the rent payments, and the rest is
First thing you
easy.
got to do, pay the rent. Yeah.
All right. Again, the time frame is somewhere March-ish.
March 1st, I plan to be open for my clients in the new space.
And you said you were rebranding.
Yes.
Why and how are you doing that?
Why? Because when I started, I was kind of on a whim with everything. I thought I wanted it to look a certain way. I thought I wanted it to come across a certain way. And I just, over the last 3 and a bit years, I've realized that I'm not that same person, and there's so many changes I want to make. So, for instance, my company name was Glow Hair and Beauty, and now it's just Glow Hair. So, and I'm revamping my website, my total vibe, everything.
All right.
It's just changing.
VIP Late Lunch continues. This is the Skrtich Living Hour. Michael Skrtich is here. Say hi, Michael.
Hello.
Hi, Michael. Okay, and Jillian Falconer, owner of Glow Hair in downtown Thorold. We were talking about her history, the history of her business, and where it's going. And one of the things that we were talking about during the break is how it works when somebody wants to be a business owner / operator in a building in any area, but let's talk about yours, a building,
Yeah.
say, that you own. So, Jillian, here's the scenario. Jillian wants to grow.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to move into a larger location, found a location. It needs leasehold improvements to bring it up to what she wants it to be as she envisions her new business or the extension of her business. How does that happen?
Well, actually,
financially and logistically?
How, like Jillian was talking about on the break, how she knows now what she wants the place to look like. So when you first start out, okay, you're not sure, but if you're experienced and you know, and you finally go on your own, and you have all these ideas. Her ideas came and said, oh, no, I want it to look like this. So that's where you come and you find the right landlord, one that you like and one that you can get along with, and one that's, you can negotiate with and trust.
And you were saying he's okay. Now, I know this is his hour, but still, all kidding aside, you said he's pretty easy to work with.
He's amazing to work with. And
Okay.
I wouldn't just say that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so you need that.
Because that's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because this is their livelihood. It's also my livelihood too, but these are, people working and making decisions, and then they're spending money and they need something for that money at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So your first question was how does this process
how
happen?
does it go?
So for example, in the Albert Apartments, we've got 3 commercial spaces available there, and someone would come in there and say, okay, let's say their business is if they're selling retail, there's one on the retail market that they can sell their product, and they need certain walls. Say they want an additional washroom or an office or all those things. Those are leasehold improvements that you can tack on to the rent after if they can't afford to do those leasehold improvements themselves. So we help them in that way.
But you have a certain budget already in your company for up to a certain number of dollars per square foot that you'll do.
For sure. You come into a place and the landlord's got the 4 walls, it's primed, and you can come in and do all your leasehold improvements yourself, or hey, we'll do them for you. So we like to do them ourselves because it's the same trades that we have and we know the building, and I don't really let other trades come in.
You have certain standards that you want to keep.
Absolutely. And it has to match the beauty of the building too. And they have to spend enough money, right? So that's what you do. You come in, you have your design, you sign a lease, you pay your first and last, and you negotiate how much they're going to pay and how much we're going to pay as landlords. And then you go from there, and then you're there. You've probably signed a 5-year lease if we're spending a lot of money renovating it and we want to recoup those costs. So,
right.
For example, in the beginning on Albert Street East, when Jillian moved in, it took time to recoup the costs that I spent for her to bring it to that level.
Sure.
And then she goes and she can now sell that business and her chairs and all that, but it's functioning hair salon, perfect for 2 or 3 people to come in and have a space for them, and then the new space. And then hopefully we keep these businesses. Once you've spent that money, another similar business can come in and take it over, which is perfect. It works great for both myself and for her and for the new people coming in.
So what's the future of Glow? We already talked about that you were sort of a one-trick pony all by yourself. You're obviously looking to expand. You're going to bring people on. What's the vision of the business going forward?
I mean, I'm still in the process of working it all out and trying to figure out what's best for me, and I'm sure it'll still be more trial and error from that. But I do plan on hiring a couple stylists and a receptionist assistant. I do know for sure that that's where I'd like to start.
Mm-hmm. What's the environment you're trying to create? We were talking about off the air, maybe you don't want to tell us because you don't want somebody to steal it, but you work a lot of hours. It's your business. This is you're growing it. You want it to look. What kind of environment are you trying to create here?
Well,
or do you want to tell us?
I don't know. I'm being put on the spot.
You want to keep it a surprise?
I want to tell you. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one a surprise.
All right. Okay.
You have to ask me to come back to hear about it.
No. That's quite.
It isn't a surprise, Lee. I rented another unit at the Albert Apartment.
Did you?
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
Well, people are coming from all over, and we're showing the luxury apartment, and the customer is someone that sells their home, and they don't want to cut the grass anymore, and they don't want to deal with all the maintenance issues. Had a couple great showings this week from some people that listen to your radio show, by the way.
There are a couple, I hear.
There are
just a couple.
We're not going to use any real names. We'll just call him Larry. Okay, so Larry came.
Not our Larry.
No. Fake name. Let's just say Larry and Jane. So Larry and Jane came.
Okay, Larry and Jane.
They came from Beamsville, and they heard about the concept and the idea. They had to drive down and take a look at it, and then their new potential clients as well too. And then also today as well, people have been, this idea of renting now. They'll sell their condo, sell their townhouse, sell their home, bank the cash, come in, and then they're just always wowed. Everybody's always wowed when they see it. They don't realize how beautiful the place is, the way we've, because it's from brand new, the quartz countertop, the hardwood floors, the Gen Air appliances, the beautiful space. Yeah.
We were talking also earlier, we had our probably first what you might call significant winter event here around Niagara over the last 18 hours or so. we talk about parking and accessibility and convenience and those kinds of things with around the Albert, and you got that taken care of as well. If anybody's wondering about what it's like to live there and have to worry about whether it's snow or access or parking or all of that stuff.
It's all the properties too. So this year we invested in a plow. We've got we bought a truck from Thorold Auto in Thorold. We've got to keep the business local, and then we put a plow on it. And we have to make sure that, because now, the rents are high. These are expensive apartments that people are like, "Wow, how can you get those rents?" No, you go take a look at it and you're like, "Yep, this matches." Mm-hmm. So it matches the price point and it matches the luxury that you're getting. So with that, we need the truck, because I know the city does the plowing. They do the laneways. They do but sometimes if it's a big snowfall, what are we supposed to do? People still have to get in. So we need that to have, that building's a priority. We got to make sure that people can drive down that laneway, park their cars in the underground parking lot. So we got to make sure that they're there and can get in and out. So that's what we have to be on top of at Skrtich Living, maintaining our own properties. And also the other student properties that we own too. It's a lot easier now with the plow. Go do it up and down, and you... and it's just saves man hours, but it costs you more because you're buying the equipment, but you save it, and then you just have to be on top of maintenance and all that.
And you're talking about the fact that to go along with this is you have a fledgling property management group that you're going to be running yourself to look after your properties. Well,
that's the thing, right? When we grow, we have a certain company that owns them, but then someone actually has to do the maintenance. So what I was doing in the beginning, when you're so small, you have to hire out the cleaning people.
Contract out stuff, sure.
You can't have an employee, there's not enough work for them, so you got to contract stuff out. Contract stuff's a little bit more expensive. And then I realized, hey, let's be the contract ourselves once you get to that level, that scale. Mm-hmm. So then you can hire a full-time person, and then they can do some cleaning, some this, some that, to take out the garbage and all these other properties. So then you slowly grow from there, and then you add another employee, and then you add another employee. So the maintenance things, there's always, students with...
And this is all part and parcel of the package you get when you're a tenant there, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's different, the tenants at the Albert, than the rest. This is a new thing that I just discovered, because don't forget, these are all owners. So now they're not just tenants rent, and then but these owners, they've owned stuff. Mm-hmm. So now, close the lights. They're monitoring all costs. Make sure we have something nice out here. Michael, can we get a picture in the hallway? Can we get a mirror? And we want to make things prettier and nice. And it's like, whoa, it's a different breed of people now. When owners come in and become renters, they don't know how to be renters. They're owners, right? Yeah. So it's great. I'm enjoying the difference between different buildings. And
Michael Skrtich is with us, our guest for the afternoon. Jillian Falconer of Glow Hair, fabulous young lady, entrepreneur here in Niagara that has grown her hairstylist business over the last 4 years now, Jillian?
Coming up to 4 years, yeah.
Coming up to 4 years, relocating still in the downtown Thorold area, growing come March 1st. And I always find that really a testament to any area. If somebody wants to grow and they stay in the same community, it means they've enjoyed their experience. What about that area is it that maintains your interest, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask.
I think I just find a lot of comfort there. I feel like it's really homey because I kind of compare it to Niagara-on-the-Lake almost. Mm-hmm. I just like that quaint kind of vibe. And yeah, when I like a spot, I just know when I like to stay. And like I said, I tried looking around, but I just kept coming back to that street. So
somebody wants to find out more about you said you got 3,000 plus followers on Instagram.
Well,
you mentioned during the break. Well, near enough. That's pretty good. You're going to be recruiting some people, and we were talking about that off the air. Mm-hmm. You can find people when it comes to recruiting employees. It's very important, especially for a small business. You can recruit a lot of skill, but it might not be a great fit. You can find a great fit with people that might not have the ultimate skill levels. So it's a tricky thing to do, isn't it?
It's so tricky, and I haven't mastered it yet. I will admit that, but I'm hoping with a new way that I'm kind of trying to do my interviews, I'm hoping to find some more people, or some people who hopefully want to work for me, who I connect with, as well as I am impressed by their skill, and someone who is open to learning from me, because I hope to learn from them as well.
One of the other things you also said is you're trying to change the culture of your industry.
That's right.
Or at least, if not change the entire culture, do it differently.
That's right, at least for myself anyway.
And how do you see that evolving over time? How do you want to do it differently? What do you want people to come away saying about you?
Just that I was kind, that they felt they had, an uplifting experience. I have had people tell me, they've been sitting in a chair and you're there for 2-3 hours as women. And, they hear people talking about them or just talking about other people the whole time. And I do not want that, and I will not accept that. And I'm not scared to tell people that. So I just hope to have a uplifting, light, airy vibe.
It's kind of
you got the secret
Zenny.
out of her, Lee.
Yeah.
You got her secret. Hey, you just kept plugging away.
I did.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like women would go to the hair salon to gossip and guys go to the bartender.
Yeah.
Right?
I do feel like a therapist sometimes. I should have 2 qualifications.
Michael,
Yes.
you're thealbertapartments.ca. All right,
Yes.
I got it right that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said you've probably got one, our Larry and Jane.
Yeah, Larry and Jane, not real names, by the way.
And we always hear about people, how popular, and it is not taking anything away from the Grimsby, Beansville area. It's one of the fastest growing communities in
It sure
Niagara,
is.
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, justifiably so. But you got somebody maybe coming the other way.
Yeah, it happened. Every week there's always new customers that come down, and you hear the stories. A lot of them are local, right? You can't, because they want to stay where they know, right? It's harder to get someone from out of town to come in, but once they make that move, like the homes are worth a lot more money the closer you get to Toronto.
Sure.
And then that difference in the bank account makes a great difference for these people, and they know they can lock the door and go to Florida, travel, finish that bucket list, right, that we were talking about in the green room.
Yeah.
Get all those trips out of the way and just do them all and enjoy life better. So that's what we're trying to do, the product that we're trying, and the new lifestyle. And then of course you're in a destination. So you've got great restaurants. Maybe in 2 weeks I'll announce a new restaurant that's coming to Downtown Thorold.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to ask you because I knew I wasn't allowed to talk about that.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I got a meeting this week, and we'll see how that goes. That'll be a big announcement in 2 weeks. Another reason to come. So there'll be destination restaurants. You got Carmen Chameleon. You got all these, and then the new steakhouse, and then the new. You got Shannon Passero and Fig Street, and then now all these salons that everyone comes to specifically. So it's a great. It is the recipe's working to make it a destination. And then now we've got the new Pine project, the student residence.
Yeah, what's the status of that?
Wow, we just started digging in the ground. I got my permits and site plan all done. City of Thorold did a great job. Everyone worked with me and helped me get it as my permit as site plan was approved. So everybody worked really hard at the City of Thorold. Kudos to them. I'm very grateful for that. It's good again with relationships and people trusting you. It's like when I say I'm going to do something, I do it, right? So that's important, and they know. You pay your development charges, and you're good to go. And then you just wait for the approval to happen. And so we've started. So we've got Perry Excavating there already this week. They've started, and then we're going to put a brand new building up there. Hopefully, we can get it done within the year.
Pine and where?
Pine and Sullivan.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
So we got a couple of those homes there, and it's a purpose-built student housing. It's going to be really nice. Like a lot of what I did previously was I took these old buildings and I converted them into purpose-built for rooms with washrooms. That's my brand, as we always talk about.
Yeah.
And then I built another one. Took a couple homes down on Front Street and built 21 Front, which is got 52 rooms in there, and. We did the same thing with the Albert, of course. Took those homes down, but we put the luxury apartments because we could see my business partner, Richard.
That's residential living, not necessarily not student living.
Right, it's residential living. So both Richard Petco and I see that vision and see where the future is going. So we took a chance on that, and then now the purpose-built student housing, and this one's going to be concrete walls, and you got your own room with a washroom. There'll be an elevator in the building. You've got a parking spot outside. So
it's funny. You keep talking about with the washroom, and a lot of people listening might not get the significance of that.
Oh, it's very significant.
But for students that are in residence, it's a big deal to have some privacy where you're spending your year.
Not just students. We've noticed that we've got young professionals coming. So they're on their own. They get a job. They go rent a one bedroom. one bedroom is expensive. Then you got to pay all your bills. So now, if you don't mind, we've got some 2-bedroom units that you can come in. And now, as a young professional working, when you're only paying $800 for the room, and it's basically your own apartment that you share a kitchen with somebody else because they're very spacious. I mean, that really works. That business model works, and you're not getting dinged too much at the end of the month.
Let me interrupt you for a second. People listening to the radio station may have had an emergency alert. Maybe did you have one on your phone as well? That was planned. I meant to mention this off the top of the program, that there was a test of the Ontario Alert Ready system planned for today at 1:55. My phone just went buzzing like crazy in my pocket. Said there is no danger to your health or safety. If this was an actual emergency, you would now hear instructions for protecting yourself. For more information about emergency alerts, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody listening may have had something happen on their cell phone. The first time they did this back in May or March or whenever the heck it was, I didn't get the alert. We didn't get it here, but now it came through on my phone. I'm not 100% sure whether it actually came through because it was supposed to happen in radio and TV and cell phones and all across Ontario. So just in case something weird happened on your radio, that's what happened. So we might have gone through a blip or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. So we did just a minor one, but at least we did get the alert this time. Yeah, cool.
Did everyone hear about the Albert Apartments in the Pine? Do we have to talk about that again?
No, that wasn't the alert. Well, we got a couple of minutes left. How many units now do you have left at the Albert?
I believe there's about 5. So, hopefully every couple of weeks we get one done, and
there's an update about what's available, et cetera, on your website, thealbertapartments.ca.
They look like they're going to go pretty fast, Lee, because I know we just finished it in October 1st. We had a whole bunch of them rented before then they went, and now this product, this brand, people really like it, and they know, okay, let's just sell and then go move to the Albert Apartments. So that's what's happening.
Okay, final minute. I want to come back to Jillian Falconer of Glow Hair. Jillian, I know you were a little bit jittery coming into this, but you okay now? Everything all right?
Yeah, much more relaxed.
You feeling good? You look calmer. You're the blood's drained out of your face.
Here.
You're okay. Well, I just wanted to congratulate you on your business. Frankly, I did not know you existed until the last 24, 48 hours. And it's been fabulous getting to know you. Congratulations on running a great new business. And 4 or 5 years in, I guess you're not new. You're a vet now.
I guess so.
Yeah, you're not new anymore.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with the new location. March 1st, you're hoping to be in there and rocking.
Right.
And what's going to be the exact new address?
I believe it's 9 Front Street.
Is that right, Michael?
9 Front Street North, correct.
9 Front Street.
It's across the street from the Niagara River Lions office.
Ah, okay.
And it's across from Shannon Passero as well, too. And then we've got Gaming Gators there and another salon as well, too. So all couple of the new buildings that we have.
Your website address?
www.glowhairandbeauty.ca.
Okay. Thanks, Jillian. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you. Michael, as always.
You see you in 2 weeks. Lee.
Keep it real.
Yes.
Okay, Evan Solomon coming up, and then Larry Fedorik's in at 4. Have a great afternoon.